Hello, I'm Alyssa Miller. Thank you for joining Channel 7 News. Today, the U.S. is at war. Two causes of the war are the Compromise of 1850 and the Dred Scott decision. The Compromise of 1850 all started when tension between Northern and Southern leaders kept growing higher. Henry Clay stepped in with several ideas to alleviate tension between the two sides. After months of debating and tweaking the measures, Fillmore signed each bill. The bills were listed as the following. California entered the Union as a free state. New Mexico and Utah territories were organized, but Congress deferred the question of slavery until their admission as states. Texas gave up a portion of its western boundary to New Mexico in return for $10 million. Congress abolished the slave trade in the District of Columbia. Congress passed a more stringent fugitive slave law. The compromise had a huge impact on the Union. A lot of people were happy about the compromise, where others were not so happy, especially with the new revision to the fugitive slave law. The new revision made the law much harsher. This compromise did not resolve any issues of slavery. It instead increased the tension between the North and the South even more. In 1846, Dred Scott sued for freedom after his master passed. Scott was living in free territory because his master had taken him to Illinois and then Wisconsin before returning to Missouri. The case was taken on in 1856, but was delayed till after the presidential election. A couple days after inauguration, the court declared that Scott had no right to sue in federal court because blacks could not be citizens of the U.S. This was upsetting to Northerners and a big win for Southerners. This case had a huge impact on the nation and fueled more anger between the North and the South. Northerners fear that this ruling will make slavery legal through the United States. Southerners are happy because it granted them protection for their human property, confirmed their right to take slaves anywhere in the country, and the distinction between slave and free states has been abolished. This made Northerners very upset, and this is a huge spike towards war. John Brown was a martyr because he embodies the definition provided, a person who is killed because of their religious or other beliefs. John Brown's father hated slavery, and John was raised around blacks. Now that he is older, he is a conductor of the Underground Railroad. He was also raised in a religious household. He believes that God chose him as a champion to lead slaves into freedom. This leads back to him being a martyr because he is very religious and against slavery. John Brown believed in using violence as a way to stop slavery. He led a raid on Harper's Ferry, Virginia. This was an attempt to abolish slavery by using violence. This explains why he's a martyr, because he hates slavery so much that he would go to such extreme lengths to try and abolish it. This is the event that caused him to get hanged. Tonight, I'll be interviewing two soldiers in the War for Independence, one who fought for the Union and one who fought for the Confederacy. We will begin by talking to the Union soldier. First, Private Tom Smith fought in the Battle of Gettysburg, which took place at Gettysburg, Adams Country, Pennsylvania, on July 1st through the 3rd, 1863. Major General George Gordon Meade led 83,289 soldiers against General Robert E. Lee, who led 75,054 soldiers, resulting in a Union victory. 23,000 Union casualties and 28,000 Confederate casualties. Private Tom Smith, were you surprised when Commander Lee invaded your town, wanting to start war, and what were your thoughts? Hello, thank you for having me. Yes, I was very shocked that Commander Lee invaded Pennsylvania. The battle began almost by accident. We ran into the Confederates on July 1st and started war with a third of soldiers that they had, but still overcame them. Private Tom Smith, how did you win the battle? We were able to win by impeding on Lee's invasion into the North. By stopping him and fighting his men, we were able to beat them. Thank you for coming out tonight. Our next guest is a Confederate soldier. Private Will Jones fought in the Battle of Vicksburg, which took place at Vicksburg, Warren County, Mississippi on May 18th through July 4th, 1863. Lieutenant General John C. Pemberton led 33,000 soldiers against Major General Ulysses S. Grant, who led 77,000 soldiers, resulting in a Union victory. There were 10,042 Union casualties and only 9,091 Confederate casualties. Private Luke Jones, why was this win necessary? Thank you for having me tonight. This one was necessary because whoever won it would be able to control the traffic on the river. Unfortunately, we did not get that power because we lost to the Union. Why did you lose the battle? We lost the battle because the Union forces surrounded the city of Vicksburg, blocking its supplies. Our commander had to surrender because lots of people were starving, and we had to give in our weapons and leave. Well, thank you both for joining us tonight and giving us some insight on a couple of wars that each of you fought in. I am a Northern white who is against slavery. In my opinion, Reconstruction was a success for the most part. For example, the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment provided African Americans with full civil rights that they have never had. This was a huge step towards freedom for slaves. Freedmen's Bureau allowed everyone born in the United States, regardless of race, to full constitutional protections. It also built schools and hospitals for former slaves and provided them with food, shelter, clothing, and land. This was great for former slaves because it was helping diminish discrimination and enforcing equality.